For centuries, a dangerous lie has echoed through history, that Africa had no history. But what if everything you thought you knew was wrong? What if the narrative of a continent shrouded in darkness was a carefully constructed falsehood designed to justify exploitation and oppression? Today, we expose the myths and reveal the vibrant, complex, and undeniably significant history of Africa. We begin in the Kingdom of Kongo. By the late 15th century, this powerful state was engaging in diplomatic relations with Portugal. Nzinga Nkuwu, the Congo's ruler, was baptized as Joa in 1491, marking a pivotal moment of cultural and political exchange. His successor, Afonso I, continued to correspond extensively with Portuguese rulers in the early 16th century, demonstrating a sophisticated understanding of international diplomacy and governance. These were not isolated encounters but evidence of a well-established kingdom with the capacity to engage with the wider world. But the story doesn't end there. Let's journey to West Africa, to the Mali Empire, ruled by Musa in the early 14th century. His pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324-1325 wasn't just a personal spiritual journey, it was a declaration of his empire's wealth and influence. His lavish display of gold captivated the world, instantly dispelling any notion of a continent lacking in resources or power. Musa's pilgrimage put the Mali Empire on the map, showcasing its economic prowess and its deep connections to the Islamic world. Further north, Timbuktu flourished as a major intellectual center in the 15th and 16th centuries. It became a hub for Islamic scholarship, attracting scholars and students from across Africa and beyond. Manuscripts flowed through the city, documenting knowledge in fields ranging from astronomy to law. Timbuktu's libraries housed countless texts, preserving ancient wisdom and fostering new intellectual pursuits. This was a city of learning, a testament to the intellectual vibrancy of Africa. Now, let's travel east to the Ethiopian Empire, one of the world's longest-lasting states. Its continuous existence stands as a direct rebuke to the myth that Africa lacked durable political institutions. The Ethiopian Empire maintained its independence for centuries, weathering numerous challenges and preserving its unique cultural identity. Its resilience speaks volumes about the strength and stability of African governance. So, why the lie? In the late 19th century, European powers began a rapid expansion of colonial rule in Africa. The Berlin Conference of 1884-1885 formalized this partition, dividing the continent among European powers without any African representation. The myth that Africa had no history was a convenient justification for this blatant act of imperialism. It allowed colonizers to portray themselves as bringing civilization to a supposedly backward continent. Historian Charles V. Reed explicitly identifies the claim that Africans made no contribution to civilization as a racist myth, highlighting the harmful consequences of this distorted narrative. The lie served the purpose to dehumanize Africans, to strip them of their agency, and to legitimize the exploitation of their land and resources. But the truth is far more complex. African societies preserved their history through a variety of means, not just written records. Oral tradition played a crucial role, with professional historians, court traditions, praise poetry, genealogy, and memorized epics all serving as vital tools for preserving the past. To assume that oral tradition is less reliable is a historical misstep. These systems often preserved political legitimacy, territorial memory, and lineages with remarkable precision over generations. Moreover, Africa had diverse writing systems and literary cultures. Guizi in Ethiopia, Arabic scholarship across North and West Africa, and indigenous scripts like Vai, developed in the 19th century in what is now Liberia, all demonstrate the continent's rich literary heritage. Africa was not isolated. It was deeply connected to global systems long before colonialism, through the Indian Ocean, the Mediterranean, and the trans-Saharan trade routes. These connections facilitated the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultural practices, further highlighting Africa's integral role in the world. Today, the legacy of these historical distortions continues to affect identity and education. When a society is repeatedly taught that it has no past worth preserving, it can weaken cultural confidence and public memory. But the recovery of African history is changing the global narrative, restoring Africans as agents in trade, scholarship, religion, statecraft, and resistance. It reveals that exploitation and creativity coexisted, slavery and violence were real, but so were scholarship, diplomacy, economic sophistication, and state formation. Modern debates over decolonized education are directly connected to these historical distortions. School curricula still shape what citizens think Africa has been and can be. Pan-African and Afrocentric public history projects respond to the old lie by highlighting empires, manuscripts, and resistance movements. Digital media has amplified both correction and distortion, spreading useful historical repair but also circulating simplified claims that flatten Africa into either total victimhood or total glorification. Contemporary African identity politics often draw on recovered history, especially in discussions of language, heritage, reparations, monuments, and post-colonial sovereignty. The persistence of anti-African stereotypes in global media continues to influence tourism, investment perceptions, and international policy discourse, even when the stereotype is historically false. One major controversy is the tension between Eurocentric narratives that minimize African achievement and overcorrection narratives that attribute too many world achievements exclusively to Africa. Another contested area is the claim that certain ancient or classical civilizations were entirely African in origin. These arguments often rest on selective evidence and are rejected by careful historians when they overstate the case. Colonial archives often excluded African voices, so the historical record is uneven by design. This creates real gaps that can be mistaken for absence rather than archival suppression. Oral histories, indigenous memory, and local chronicles were often dismissed by colonial scholars even when they preserved accurate political and social information. The truth is complex and nuanced. Africa's history is not one of absence, but of presence, resilience, and innovation. By acknowledging the achievements and contributions of African civilizations, we can begin to dismantle the harmful myths that have perpetuated injustice for far too long. The true story of Africa is waiting to be told, waiting to be heard, waiting to reshape our understanding of the world. Ancient map of Africa overlaid with modern political boundaries, highlighting the continent's vastness and diversity.